everyone, welcome to another iWoman Report. I'm Cathleen Trigg-Jones. I know you're wondering why I'm holding this. Well, happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. In the midst of so much bad news today, I thought I would try to brighten things up just a little bit. So I've got my bottle of tequila standing by. Get your drink glasses ready. We're going to have a little toast at the end of the show. This was one of my favorite Cinco posts that I saw online today. You know, I hadn't even thought about this, but it's true. This year's Cinco de Mayo is falling on Taco Tuesday in the middle of a war called Corona. That's a good one. Hadn't thought of that. If you have any funny posts, please share them with me on my iWoman Instagram page. It's also Giving Tuesday, and I have some special guests here joining me later. In our latest poll, I asked you if you plan to get your test for Corona COVID-19. I'm going to have your results as well as my own, because I did get tested, and it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. All right, but right now, let's get into our top stories. Several states are reopening despite warnings that relaxed restrictions will have a dire impact on our health and our lives. High school seniors are in for a huge surprise. I'll give you a hint. It starts with a O. And Giving Tuesday is a time to give. I have some of my girlfriends here to tell you about the fundraiser that we started to help feed doctors and emergency responders. Okay, so let's start off with this fight over social distancing, which is turning into a violent fight in many cases as protesters demand an end to the Corona lockdown.
A police officer punched a bystander. 3 people now charged with killing a security guard who was shot after a dispute with a customer over a face mask.
In Michigan, a security guard was shot and killed after asking a customer to put on a mask. Protests erupted in New York after a police officer attacked a man for not honoring social distancing orders. And Chicago's mayor says she ain't playing after seeing videos of house parties on social media.
We're not playing games. We mean business. The time for educating people into compliance is over. Don't be stupid.
Okay, so it seems inevitable that we are going to have to get back out and face the reality again at some point, which is why I asked all of you in our latest poll if you want to get the COVID-19 antibody test just to see if you could be immune to the coronavirus. And more than half of you said either you have gotten it already or that you want to know. Well, I have to say I agree 100%. I did get tested, and as much as I was hoping to find out that I had been exposed, I actually haven't, and I've been telling everyone that I've already had this, which means I'm actually not immune. Not that it would make a difference, because doctors say that being exposed doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get it again. But the latest predictions are enough to scare me. I don't know about you, they're startling. Let's take a look back. March 4th, in fact, I was on my way to Mexico at that point. There were only 11 deaths. 3 months later, we are at 68,000 deaths, and some experts are warning as much as 3,000 Americans could die every single day over the next month due to Corona as we relax these orders. Although President Trump isn't buying into those latest predictions, he told reporters today he's doing everything right, and that the important thing right now is just to get the economy back on track.
Models have been very inaccurate. I've seen models that are very inaccurate. But you know, one model that's very important is that if we did this a different way, we would have lost more, much more than 2 million people. And we did it the right way. We did everything right.
Well, here's something that'll make Trump good and happy. The Obamas, that's President and First Lady Barack and Michelle Obama, have answered the call of one high school senior and will deliver a virtual commencement for all of the 2020 seniors.
And I just thought, why not him? Why not that generational icon that my class of 2020 got to watch be president for 8 out of our 12 years of education so far.
The Dear Class of 2020 virtual graduation is going to take place on YouTube, which is partnering with Michelle Obama's Reach Higher Foundation. It's a huge multi-hour event set for June 6th. BTS, Lady Gaga, LeBron James, Alicia Keys, Chloe and Haley, Zendaya, they're all going to be part of this big celebration.
I think, you know, an uplifting message from President Obama may just really help us carry on as a nation and as young people, and I think it would help everybody, not just graduates.
What an incredible gesture by the Obamas, because this class of seniors is really suffering this year, including my own son. These kids, this particular class of 2020, they were born during 9/11, and now we're sending them out into the world during the coronavirus. They've missed out on everything. They've missed out on their high school senior prom, graduation, second semester senior year is everything to these kids. They don't even get to say goodbye to each other. I spoke to a dear friend of mine, Dr. Linda McGee, a school psychologist, to ask her, how do we help our teenagers deal with all this disappointment? Hey, Dr. McGee.
Hey, Kathleen, how are you?
Well, I'm hanging in here. So we've been talking a lot about the 7 stages of grief and the fact that right now as a nation and as families, as human beings, we're all really suffering. And if we could recognize this for what it is, maybe we might be able to get through it a little easier.
Well, people associate grief with dying. And grief can attach to many different things, including a loss of someone. You might know someone. Almost everyone on the East Coast knows someone, or the West Coast knows someone who's either suffered with it or has died from COVID-19. But it also includes loss of milestones. So we talked a little bit earlier about how we have seniors who won't have proms, who won't have graduations. And they're feeling sad and angry about it. They feel like they worked so hard to get to this milestone, and the seniors in high school and the seniors in college, they don't get a graduation. But what I'm seeing out there is a lot of creativity. People doing drive-ins, where they have a graduation at a drive-in. I talked to a head of school the other day, and they're being allowed to drive through the driveway of the school, and they stop and they get their diploma and they drive through, and they're being acknowledged over loudspeaker that they're graduating. I also encourage the schools to work with parent groups to try to find one way that they can see each other one more time before they leave.
Can you talk to me about warning signs? A lot of the warning signs, I talk to a lot of parents, and the warning signs that I read online, we all have them. Our kids are staying, especially our teenagers. They're staying in their room. Their sleep patterns all over the place. They're either overeating or not eating hardly at all. They're irritated, they're agitated. They're like all of those things that you would say, look out for. Most parents are seeing right now with our.
So if your child already has an underlying mental health condition, such as depression, anxiety, bipolar, or they're dealing with, frankly, executive functioning issues like ADHD and dyslexia, things that would have made school difficult, you definitely would be on the lookout for a worsening of those conditions. And again, it's a matter of degree. Now, they show it differently than adults. They will not articulate to you that they are sad. That's just not how depression or anxiety manifests itself in teenagers. They will drive you crazy by being angry and striking out at the targets that they can best strike out at, which is parents usually and siblings. But just keep looking, parents, if you see the warning signs with your kids.
Okay. All right. Dr. Linda, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully seeing how much the Obamas and all these celebrities care will make a little bit of a difference. Speaking of making a difference, today is Giving Tuesday Now, a global day of unity launched in response to the unprecedented need caused by COVID-19. There are so many charities and initiatives that you can give to. I personally have been telling you about one that I helped launch called Cause We Care Now. I thought it would be a great idea today to bring some of my girlfriends on to talk about the incredible work that we've done so far. It's Giving Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Happy Giving Tuesday. Much, much needed these days.
Much needed these days. So let's talk about Cause We Care Heart and why we decided to embrace this particular initiative during this crisis that we're in right now.
Well, as a group of friends who have witnessed this virus devastating our communities around the country, we felt that it was time and an imperative actually that we do something to help support our communities of Black and Brown people in need, again, especially during this crisis that we're in.
And to date, we've raised almost over $15,000. We've been helping keep a Harlem business in business and providing meals to a lot of the doctors and nurses and emergency responders that are in the Harlem community. And Austria, you've been a huge part also in making sure that that happens.
So we've delivered up to now about 800 meals. We are starting in the Bronx now and in Brooklyn to two hospitals that were very heavily hit by this pandemic. We have left Harlem because since we were delivering meals to Harlem, now Bloomberg has taken over Harlem, which is so very excited about. So we are able to move our resources to other areas in our community and outside of the borough of Manhattan, which is amazing.
There's so much need. And I work for a company, Unilever, and I run the beauty and personal care business. That's about 24 brands. So it's brands like Dove and Suave and Shea Moisture. That it was great for Unilever to support and be able to provide products that make a difference for hand washing and hand care. And most immediately, the Shea Moisture brand jumped way on board and said, how can I help our community? And that was through Harlem Hospital, but also hospitals in the Bronx and in Brooklyn with lotion, which we know with all the hand washing, our skin is just dried and cracked.
Right.
So having access to lotion to take care of our hands, but also our bodies from these detox showers we're doing when we have to go out, and especially our frontliners, was a great opportunity for the business. So the brand saw the opportunity and more to come.
There's a lot of organizations out there doing bringing food to hospital workers, but we are providing food to underserved hospital workers and Black and brown people in underserved communities. And we're also using local businesses in those communities to provide the food.
And this is why Giving Tuesday is so important to us right now. Point your money to the groups that you believe in, that you trust, that you want to help. I think we are one of those groups.
This really isn't just about us. This is about helping the community. So on Giving Tuesday and on every day, you should think of how you can make a difference in someone else's life. So whether you make a donation to Cause We Care Now or whether you help another organization, just do something. Because right now, more than ever, individual contributions are what's going to be needed to keep the world going around.
And the name says it all, 'cause we care now.
From our heart to yours.
Again, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you do something. To make a tax-deductible donation to Cause We Care Now, please visit trighouse.org and click on the Donate Now button, and you can read all about the work that we've done so far and what we have planned for the next few months. All right, well, it's that time. I don't know if it's 5 o'clock yet where you are, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So get your margarita glasses ready, or wine glasses, or whatever you drink. And I'm going to show you how to make my favorite margarita, and we're going to toast at the end of the show. So, you know, all my friends from Mexico say that this is actually a U.S.-made holiday to give us an excuse to drink, so whatever it takes. Actually, a bit of history. Cinco de Mayo is actually not a celebration of Mexican independence, as many Americans think. It's actually a commemoration of the Battle of Pueblo in 1862, which Mexico won, and it went on to become a symbol of the resistance to dominance by other nations. So, cheers, Mexico. And as I leave you with my thoughts for today, I want to invite you all to remember these moments. People are suffering like never before. Many of us have lost friends and loved ones. We're sick and we're tired of being locked inside. But for every dark moment, try to remember the blessings in disguise, the connections, the conversations, the family time that we somehow never could seem to find time for, the inventions and the reinventions, and try to make peace with what's going on in our world. And when all else fails, make yourself a margarita. Here's to Mexicans everywhere and to all of us who've been locked inside far too long. May we all see freedom again one day. That's going to do it for us. Until the next iWoman Report, everyone please stay healthy, stay happy, and stay safe. Cheers.